What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to Super LX Views episode number 5. We have reached the series finale, and we are about to discuss the most anticipated element of this matchup. I know I've been dying to talk about it, and I know you all have been waiting for me to talk about it. We are here to discuss the quarterbacks. When it comes to these two quarterbacks, I am very familiar with both of their games. With Drake May, he's a young player, year 2, did a little bit of scouting on him as he was coming out of UNC, and obviously since he's gotten to the NFL, I can comfortably tell you that I've seen pretty much every single one of Drake May's throws in his NFL career. And what I've seen in year 2 is progress, growth. And that's very, very important when you're evaluating a young player, because you really do have to sort of grade them at a curve. When it comes to Sam Darnold, whole different place in his career. He was drafted in 2018, also the 3rd overall pick. We got 2 third overall picks starting this Super Bowl matchup. When you look at Sam Darnold, drafted by the Jets, traded to Carolina, goes to San Francisco, signs with Minnesota, takes them to the playoffs, gets them 14 wins in the regular season, and then all of a sudden, they just let him leave the building because they wanted to go with J.J. McCarthy, which I always say, quick side note, it is better to overpay than overdraft a quarterback. Example A, J.J. McCarthy. Example P, Mitch Trubisky. Let's keep going. Back to the main topic at hand here. Sam left Minnesota and went to Seattle. A lot of people criticized Seattle for the contract that they gave him. Obviously, me, a man who believes in his friends, who does not give up on people who are chasing their dreams. Obviously, I thought it was a good deal. 3-year contract, about $33 million a year. It's not going to be a heavy hit on the cap space. And if it works out in year 1, you can extend him now to a 5-year contract or even a 6-year contract. And you ain't got to worry about the cap space. You ain't got to worry about the cap hit. So Seattle is in a prime position, but we are not here to talk about that. I need to stay focused on what I am here to discuss with y'all for this episode. When it comes to evaluating Sam Darnold, there are so many things on tape that just stand out. Things that you saw flashes of when he was coming out of college, and things that I kept hoping he would piece and put together and just be more consistent with it. And in 2025, despite what some people might say was a not so great year with the 25 touchdowns and 14 interceptions, context is important because 7 of those came in 2 games against the Rams. I'm going to keep going. What you see on film from him at a consistent level, at the most consistent level we've seen from him, it's high-level balls. When it comes to elite ball placement, he knows exactly where the ball needs to be. His anticipation is tremendous. He trusts his wide receivers, and that's a big reason why his anticipation has taken a next-level step this year. Jackson Smith-Njigba is a huge part of that, but again, he trusts his receivers, whether it's Kupp, whether it's Horton, whether it's Shaheed, whether it's the tight ends, and certainly whether it's JSN. The anticipation is elite, and his ability to just have so much trust in his wide receivers is special. Number 2, his eyes, or number 3, I don't even know. We got so many strengths right now, baby. We talk about Sambo Darnold. When it comes to his eyes, a lot of quarterbacks today don't use their eyes. A lot of quarterbacks, particularly the young quarterbacks, it's all about pure progression. It's 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3, or whatever. If this is my first read, this is my second read, this is my third read. If it's not there, I'm gone. And with Sam, you see a lot of things that you see from the elites, from the rare ones, where he will use his eyes to manipulate the safety. He will use his eyes to move them one way or another. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a controlled sense. Like, for example, there's a play where he literally at the very last second, he looked off his primary target at literally the very last second, and then shifted back to his primary target. But by that time, the safety had come down thinking, oh, he's not throwing it here. He's changed his mind. when the whole time, in fact, he's just doing it to manipulate that safety forward and create a one-on-one matchup over the top with JSN. And that's a matchup you're going to take all day, every day, no matter who's guarding him. Other things you see from Sam, the processing and the IQ is at a very high level. The issue with the processing is sometimes he can process it a little too quick or sort of immaturely process things, and that's where you see the interceptions. A lot of those interceptions against the Rams was just a credit to the defense for showing him one look multiple times and then showing it again and making something completely different post snap out of it. So the processing, I would say, at times is super fast, and at other times it is just a little immature or premature. Pause. Second thing that I see from sort of et cetera, because I have lost track now of how many wonderful things I've said about an incredible quarterback. The drop back depth. A lot of quarterbacks don't understand how important it is for them to drop back at exactly the depth and speed that the play is drawn up at and the routes are designed for, especially in play action. You see a lot of quarterbacks, and this is this generation and even the generation prior. Like it took Matt Ryan till about year 4 or year 5 to truly perfect his drop back depth off of play action. What you're seeing with Sam is the same thing. He is so precise and he is so aware and so conscious of the fact that off of this play action, even if it's a bootleg, I can't just keep dropping back and back and back away from the line of scrimmage. He has a unique ability similar to Breeze and Brady and Peyton, where he can fake the play action and then just pop up. Even if his back is entirely to the line of scrimmage, the minute he pops up, he's looking for one key and one key only. And if that key is there, then I got to throw here. If that key is here, then I got to throw there. And the way he processes it is super impressive. And if he even thinks that there is the smallest window that he can fit a ball in there, he's got the arm, he's his mechanics and everything is all in sync now where he can really drive a football with the necessary force, the necessary velocity to fit it in there for a tight catch. He is truly impressive to watch on film. Forget my previous fandom, forget the years of me pounding the desk discussing the strengths of this quarterback. He has put it all together, and it is no accident. It is no mistake. It is no fluke that he is now one win away from hoisting a Lombardi. Now, let's move on to the Seahawks offense and how they play off of his strengths and how they utilize his strengths to maximize their opportunities. Number one, the formations. The formations are more condensed formations. They don't do a lot of spread stuff. They don't want to go too far out wide. It's a lot of condensed formations. It's a lot of 12 personnel. It's a lot of under center stuff. And they have a great balance. And then when I say a lot of 12 personnel and a lot of under center, it's because it's more than the league average. It's so well balanced. It's such a well balanced offense with everything. They use motion, they don't use too much of it. They use play action, they don't overuse play action. It is a perfectly balanced professional offense. And I think from those condensed formations, especially those 12 personnels, I think they will use that to attack the linebackers and attack the safeties. You go out with two tight ends, you're thinking, okay, they're going to run. No, Chief, we're about to attack your linebackers with our two tight ends because their tight ends are very capable. They may not get the recognition of the Travis Kelce's and the George Kittles. They may not have the notoriety of the three-headed tight end monster out of Los Angeles. But these two tight ends, and Carlos Arroyo and A.J. Barner, they can run, they can catch, they can block, they can split out wide. They are very capable tight ends, and they are both playing in this game. Arroyo, in his rookie year, has been dealing with some nagging injuries, but he is 100% good to go for this game, and that is going to be critical. I actually believe the Seahawks will have more success running out of 11 personnel with 3 wide receivers and more success passing out of 12 personnel with 2 tight ends. Usually it's the other way around, but I think in this matchup in particular, they can take some things to their advantage with running the ball, with the Patriots having less heavy people, and throwing the ball when the Patriots have more heavy people. I think they can utilize some of their athletic abilities in certain positions to create huge advantages. And I'm really, really looking forward to see how it all plays out. Couple other things to throw out there about this Seattle offense. Number one, you can tell that their offensive line is a well-coached offensive line. And I'm not saying that because they're overpowering and they're great and they're the great wall of the Northwest. Nah, not at all. They are a very high-quality offensive line, left to right. Do they have weaknesses? Yes. Can they be beat? Yes. I think their biggest weakness is at right guard, but nonetheless, this is a offensive line that plays in unison. And the reason I believe, or I say, that they're a well-coached offensive line is, like I said, they play in unison. But number two, they are all active hand fighters. They use their hands so much. And I think we're in a scouting age where everybody is so focused when it comes to offensive linemen on arm lengths and on their first step or ball get off, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But offensive line play is hand fighting. Like, yeah, your feet matter. Yeah, your balance matters. Yeah, all that stuff matters. But it comes down to pure hand fighting. And if you are an active hand fighter and you understand hand placement and you understand how to counter strikes as an offensive lineman, you are going to have a nice, successful career in the NFL strictly off of that skill. And you could see with the Seahawks offensive line, every single one of them, they're very active with their hands. Other things that you notice, like I said, their motion, they're well balanced with it, but they use a lot of motion in the red zone, and that's used to create opportunities, to create space, and to identify matchups. So keep that in mind when they get into the red zone. Another thing to keep in mind when they get into the red zone is Mr. Cooper Kupp. He is the rub master. Pause. We're going to use a barbecue scheme for this one. He is the rub master. Like I said, they use a lot of motion and they use a lot of rub routes and pick routes. And he is by far the best at setting picks, setting rubs without causing a flag. He has an exceptional talent for it. And usually veteran wide receivers who are professional route runners find a way to perfect the route rubbing scheme. And he has found a way to perfect the route rubbing scheme. Another thing, in a phone booth, in those tight areas, he will cook a lot of receivers with subtle quickness. It's not speed, it's just subtle quickness and also knowing how to create separation using his hands without attracting the attention of the refs. Exceptional stuff.